The police catch a raccoon in the driver's seat with a meth pipe in his mouth. An American tourist is impaled at the Coliseum. And United Airlines flight attendants keep leaving passengers sleeping on landed planes. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News. I'm the host. I'm Jonesy. Here we go. Never give up on the weird news. You know what makes you happy. Whoa, never give up on the weird news. 'Cause baby, when it's weird, it's really weird. The police find a raccoon with a meth pipe in his mouth, leading to a drug bust. This story's out of Ohio. The police say they found a raccoon in a vehicle. The raccoon had a methamphetamine pipe in its mouth. This was during a traffic stop on Monday. Times are tough, man. Even the raccoons got to get high to get by. This quickly led to drug charges involving the car's owner. I assume this individual owns the meth pipe and the raccoon, or maybe just the meth pipe. The raccoon might be just an innocent bystander in all of this, just wrong place, wrong time. Raccoon was trying to catch a ride to the park or something. And, the last thing raccoons need right now is, the stigma of being known as a pack of tweakers. That's fine for squirrel behavior because they're just a bunch of degenerates anyways, but not the raccoons. All right, let's get back into the story. I'd like to light up and smoke some details here for us all. This took place in Akron, Ohio. I don't know if I mentioned that up top, in case you were wondering what level of redneck Akron, Ohio is. You got meth-smoking raccoon owners. That's what's going down over there. Ohio, Florida, without the beaches. All right, let's go. At approximately 7 p.m., the Springfield Township Police Officer Austin pulled over a car on South Arlington Road because its owner had an active warrant and a suspended license. The police arrested the driver. When they returned to the car, they found a raccoon named Chewy sitting in the driver's seat holding a meth pipe in its mouth. Oh, that's quite a sentence, by the way. That's a fun one to say, really. You should try it. Say it. Say the police found a raccoon named Chewy sitting in the driver's seat holding a meth pipe in its mouth. This is just outstanding. It's outstanding. Florida, announcement. You have 3 days to step up your game. I'm doing Florida Friday in 3 days, and you better top this thing. All right, back to the raccoon named Chewy. We have a quote from the police officer. Chewy had somehow gotten hold of a glass methamphetamine pipe, leading officers to further inspect the vehicle. Chewy's dropping dimes here. Or Chewy the raccoon could be addicted. I don't know. He's got some dark circles under his eyes. Probably from not sleeping. What could that be from? Well, meth makes you not sleep. So, just trying to piece things together here. So the police inspected the vehicle. I think we know what they're going to find, right? They discovered roughly 7 grams of meth, a small amount of suspected crack cocaine, and 3 used meth pipes, also known as drug paraphernalia. The driver of the vehicle, an Akron woman, was charged with felony drug possession and driving under suspension. Does that mean no charges related to the raccoon? I guess you can legally own raccoons. It's no problem. The police report lists Chewy as someone's pet, but it does not identify the owner. Well, who owns Chewy? What's Chewy's deal? Whoever's in charge of Chewy needs to get their act together because, Chewy's off the wagon right now, running around with a bunch of meth-smoking ne'er-do-wellers. Chewy. Ne'er-do-wellers. I've always wanted to say that. That was a good time for it. I'm not even sure I said it correctly. Ne'er-do-wellers? Someone's going to correct me that listens to this, for sure. We have a quote here from one of the officers. Thankfully, Chewy the raccoon was unharmed, and we have reached out to the proper authorities to determine the owner of Chewy. As always, we remain committed to keeping our community safe no matter what surprises may come our way. And while our officers are trained to expect the unexpected, finding a raccoon holding a meth pipe is definitely a first. A tourist was impaled at the Colosseum in Rome. An American tourist's visit to the Colosseum took a turn for the terrifying after the man impaled himself on a fence and was left dangling and screaming and howling in pain while other visitors looked on in horror, according to the Italian media. Oh, man. Of course it was an American. That's no surprise. You didn't even have to say that. I knew freaking Americans, of course. We just can't behave ourselves. We just always have to cross the line. Where's the line? It's right there. Oh, thanks for telling me where the line is. I'm about to cross it now. The gruesome incident took place at 5 p.m. on Friday when the 47-year-old American attempted to climb over a fence in the Piazza del Colosseo, presumably to get a closer look at the historic Roman amphitheater. Yeah, leave it to the American. Can't just look through the fence like everybody else. Has to climb the fence. Has to go eat a stromboli in the foyer of a building that's completely off limits because it's 3,000 years old or whatever and it's crumbling. Leave it to the American. Can't just look from afar. Pictures and selfies aren't enough. Nope. Gotta step over the lines of demarcation and jump right into the gorilla exhibits. You know how we do it. Okay, let's jump back into the Roman story and find out if this man lived after being impaled at the Colosseum. I think the Colosseum and the surrounding tourist attractions related to ancient Rome should just take this story and run with it. It's good PR. Fresh blood spills at the Colosseum. We're back, baby. The Roman Empire's back, baby. Ruficus, hand me my olive oil and my spear. Ruficus, fetch me my steed. We're back, Ruficus. Did you like the name Ruficus? I took the word roofie and turned it into a Roman name. Yeah, you know Ruficus. He used to roofie his enemies and touch them where they pee. He was thrown to the lions, Ruficus. He didn't last. Okay, I'm getting out of control silly here. Okay, back. It says the American man, I'm so embarrassed. American man was skewered by the sharp metal bars of the fence. He began screaming and bleeding profusely until he became unconscious. Wow, this article is really, it's kind of morbid. An ambulance was rushed to the scene, and the medics found that the man had suffered a severe injury in his lower back that was preventing him from moving. Yeah, okay. They administered a sedative before carefully detaching him. Oh, my goodness, can you imagine? They're like, take this pill and do a shot of whiskey. We're now going to pull you off these spikes. Hold on the count of 3. 1, 2. Okay, it says it took around 20 minutes to detach the man from and stabilize him. He was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. He underwent emergency surgery, receiving 80 stitches to close his wound. A tourist is quoted as saying, "It was terrible. I saw that man impaled on a railing and he couldn't free himself. He was just waving his arms and legs around. It was awful." Yeah, that'll spoil your bronzoni. Okay, the man's identity hasn't been released, but he is reported to be a resident of Taiwan, although he is an American citizen. He was unable to speak for several hours. And I wonder if witnesses, some of them thought this was all a reenactment. Do you think? Oh, look at honey, they're going to crucify him next. Hey, Dad, are they going to throw someone to the lions? I sure hope so, son. Isn't ancient Rome a blast? The article goes on to say that this may have been the bloodiest incident involving American tourists at the Colosseum. It is far from the first. In 2015, 2 California women, ages 21 and 25, were arrested on suspicion of carving the letters J and N into a brick wall inside the Colosseum. Colosseum. Wow. I combined Colosseum with mausoleum and came up with a whole new building. The Colosseum. Anyways, these 2 young influencers, whatever you want to call them, they posed for selfies in front of their graffiti on this building. They were charged with aggravated damage to a building of historical interest. Good. Put them in a Roman prison for a month. In 2021, 2 American men, ages 24 and 25, were fined about $1,000 each for breaking into the Colosseum before dawn to drink beers inside. Did I cover that story? I think I might have. So many Americans just doing so many stupid things. How was Rome, dude? Oh, man, it was like the best. I totally got impaled, brah. It was like totally rad. Like my blood and guts were like dangling down a railing. It was so cool, man. Oh, man, wait till you see the pics I got. The cool pics, brah.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Flight attendants keep leaving passengers asleep on empty planes. United Airlines is telling flight attendants to stop leaving passengers behind on these empty planes. Customers fall asleep in their seats, everyone gets off the plane, and flight attendants have just been leaving them there. Sometimes the passengers are left behind in the lavatory. How smooth are these landings going on at United? Man, these United pilots are smooth operators. Coast to coast, they fly the plane so smoothly. Watch 'em land. Shout out to Sade, everybody. If anyone knows Sade, please tell her I'm in love with her and I want to make her a cappuccino. The airline is working with its cabin crew union to get to the bottom of what human factors could be behind this worrying trend of people falling asleep and just being left there. I've never seen this before. I didn't know this was happening. I don't know how you can sleep through a landing, first of all. Difficult. And then how do you sleep through the cleaning crew that comes in? Like, how do you sleep through any of that? How good is the booze really affordable on these United flights? To my mind, I can't remember how. I mean, if you got a good happy hour on United, maybe that could explain it. Although at the end of the day, it's probably just the Xanax. Yeah, it's probably the Xanax. You know, Mama's little travel helper. Shout out to the doctors prescribing us our little flight emotional support pills. Yeah, that's what's up. Now, in this story, we have a flight crew union who says leaving passengers on planes isn't the crew's fault, it's the airlines, because having cabin cleaners on board while passengers deplane is distracting. They say even the simplest distraction or loss of focus due to external factors can result in us missing a passenger asleep in their seat or one in the lavatory. One concern we have continued to bring forward is the presence of cabin cleaners on board and throughout the aircraft at a time when flight attendants are trying to conduct their sweep. It has become more routine for cleaners to board the aircraft during passenger deplaning, potentially obstructing our view or creating an inadvertent distraction. Oh, they're saying that the cleaning crew is getting on too early and distracting them from, searching for sleeping passengers. And then somehow the passenger's still sleeping through the cleaning crew. That's what I don't get. Sleeping through, 3 or 4 vacuum cleaners? American Airlines cabin crew received a memo in late December from their union warning that this seems to be happening more and more and constitutes a violation of federal rules since a minimum number of flight attendants must be on board an aircraft whenever there are passengers there. And so if you have an empty plane and there's just a sleeping passenger, that's completely illegal because there's no flight attendant on the craft. These flight attendants have been warned that all crew on a flight are responsible for the post-flight check and that the lead flight attendant must do a final walkthrough prior to exiting the aircraft to check for any passengers snoozing on board. Well, I heard that the flight crew only gets paid while the plane's in the air or something like that. So are they even being paid to do these sweep-throughs and search for sleeping passengers? Or they're paid once the doors are closed. That's another rumor I heard. I could probably find out right now. Do I want to? Survey says no. The answer is no. Flight crews are not only paid when the plane is in the air. They are typically paid for their entire duty period, even if it includes time spent on the ground before boarding, during boarding, and after landing. While their pay rates may be higher when flying, they are also compensated for their ground duties. Okay, so they're paid more when they're in the air or when the plane door is closed. It's a different rate. I got it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the crew's responsibility to go do more checks then. I mean, what else are you going to do? Hire someone to just go on there with an air horn? Hi, I'm the wake-up guy. The wake-up guy's here, guys. Send the wake-up guy through the plane. You're just looking for snoozers, blow the horn in their vicinity, wake them up. I'm not going to lie, I would enjoy that job, I think. This particular article I have here ends by saying, famously, an Air Canada passenger from Quebec City to Toronto fell asleep on a plane in 2019, slept through touchdown, gate arrival, and all the other customers getting off the plane. When she woke up, the plane had been towed away from the gate to be parked overnight. She was in a totally dark aircraft with no way off. Her cell phone was out of battery, and she couldn't call for help. She opened the aircraft's door, but it was too treacherous a drop onto the concrete to make it. Ultimately, she flagged down a worker driving a baggage cart who went for help. I never heard that story. I don't believe I covered that story on Weird AF News, strangely, because it's weird. You guys hear about that one? The lady wakes up on the plane in the darkness, in the dark plane after hours, in a dark plane parking lot. The plane parking garage. What do they call it where they park planes? Plane parking lot, I think. Just remember it's weird news, and it'll be alright. Beep. Well, thank you, my loyal listeners and friends. That was a splendid episode. Splendid. Lots of fun. We learned a lot. We had a few laughs. It was good times had by all, wasn't it, guys? Anyways, I appreciate you spending some time with me. Please, what was I going to say? Please, what do they call that? A fart brain? Brain fart. Subscribe to the podcast, please. Subscribe if it's your first time here. I do weird news 5 days a week. Just me recording in a closet. On Friday, I do weird news from Florida, and that's how we live life around here. So, support the show by subscribing and write a review if you'd like. Maybe tell a neighbor about it. Tell a babysitter to check it out. Yeah. Tell anybody you know that understands the English language. Tell them that they're going to love this weird news show. And then, you should listen to the weird news show right after you listen to the regular news, because the regular news makes you want to pull your hair out, tear your hair out. It's crazy. It's very stressful. Every day it gets worse and worse. Anyways, and then you listen to Weird AF News and you go, oh, at least my life isn't like that. That's crazy. Or maybe you get an idea. You're like, well, maybe I want a pet raccoon to help me do my drugs. You might learn something. You might get inspired. I don't know. Maybe you'll just laugh. I don't know. But it's good. It's good. Yes, you can also support the show if you like. If you fell into some money, you had a dead relative just kick the can lately. I don't even know where they got that. Kick the can. What does that even mean? Where does that come from? Kick the can. Anyone tell me? Anyways, croak. That's another one. People say they croak. They pushing up daisies. I know that one. I know what that means because you're underground, so you're pushing up daisies. That one makes sense. Croak? I don't know. Croak is what a toad makes. That's the sound a toad makes. People don't make that sound when they die usually. Do they? I don't know. I haven't been next to somebody when they passed away. I don't think. Was I? I once had a paper route, though, and I had to deliver it to a funeral home, and I was probably like 10 years old, and I went in there, and I saw a dead body, and that was the first dead body I ever saw delivering papers, and it freaked me out. And I think the guy that paid me could see it on my face, and he gave me an extra tip, so it's pretty sweet. Sweeten the deal, Sweet for my PTSD. my PPTSD. Paper related PTSD. Paper route? PRPTSD. Paper route PTSD is what I had. Any of you remember newspapers? Do you remember these days? Anyways, I saved up for a bicycle, a mongoose that was stolen within 4 months after me saving up a year and a half to buy it. It's good times. Yeah. Had a great childhood. It was so cool. Just everything was a struggle, but now and here we are making it, guys. I'm making it, and I'm in Laughlin, Nevada tonight. So Jonesy's really made leaps and strides in his life. Performing at the LA Comedy Club. It's located at the Edgewater Hotel. If you're interested, come check me out. The LA Comedy Club this evening. I think the show is at 8:00. Yeah, you'll find all the information on my Instagram at FunnyJones. And like I said, if you want to support the show, go to weirdafnews.com. Yes, .com, weirdafnews.com. You can buy me a coffee or you can join the Patreon. Yeah, that's another cool thing to do. It's like buying me a coffee every month because you love me. You want to keep me going. You want to keep me alive. So alive.